What's going on, guys? This is Sean Kelley, the Car Biz Coach, CEO of Car Motivators, helping automotive leaders achieve great results through people and technology. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Automotive Insights webinar series. We are going to be coaching dealers through crisis. This is something that myself and my close network, this group of experts have been working tirelessly to ensure our dealerships make it through this crisis. And we've got dealerships that span in multiple countries from coast to coast. A combined well over 500 stores is what we believe we have united here that we work with every day, day in and day out. And the reason for this webinar is because we want to help you understand the imminent needs that your dealership's going to need to implement and leverage in order to make it through this crisis, come out of this, the other side, stronger, leaner, more efficient, and more effective. So joining me on this webinar, I've got several amazing automotive industry experts. Let me introduce them just one at a time and in no particular order of importance. We have Jason Harris. Jason Harris is a marketing expert. Jason, say hello, man. Jason, give us a quick 30-second intro about your company and what you do for automotive dealers.
Okay, so we're an automotive specific marketing agency that's a full service agency. So everything from strategy to complete execution, we do it all. Custom creative, custom content, a ridiculous amount of video. But at the end of the day, we really enjoy helping dealerships develop out strategies and execute those strategies.
Awesome, fantastic. Now we have Dustin Baumis from Covideo. Now Covideo has been a partner of mine for several years, and Dustin has become a good friend of mine. So I was so grateful for him, even though he's on his anniversary staycation at home. For Dustin, happy anniversary, man.
Thank you.
First off, how long have you been married, and tell us a little bit about yourself and Covideo.
Yeah, so we just had our 5th year anniversary. We've been together 11 years, so that's pretty awesome. And I've been with Covideo now for almost as long. 2011, I got with them through my roofing business. Actually, used them. I was a customer of theirs for my roofing business. But we help dealerships and businesses connect with their customers through impromptu and personalized video messaging, direct through email, SMS, CRM, and more. So thank you.
No, thank you, Dustin. Really, really amazing technology. I use it for my business, very enjoyable, and it makes a big impact for my customers. And we'll talk about how technology like Dustin's can help you through this. And also, last but not least, George is Heads Up Bumper, which is, and here, I don't want to steal his thunder. And George and I recently met, and after seeing his technology and what they do, and just being able to connect those dots to how this can help dealers, I said, George, would you please join us on this webinar? Because I think you can bring a lot of value. So George, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company and what you guys do.
Well, thank you, Sean. Appreciate the kind words. And so at Vicimus, we are a technology marketing company that provides websites and marketing solutions for automotive dealerships, dealer groups, and OEMs. And we allow our technology platform, the one that you referenced was Bumper, and that's our most popular technology that allows dealers to communicate directly with their customers in various formats. And I will go through that in my presentation. So excited to be part of this, and happy to be joining you all.
Well, it's an honor to have all of you guys on this webinar together. And I believe that what we're going to share with our dealers today is going to make a massive positive impact for you guys. And you're going to really understand and have clarity about the imminent needs that your dealership will have to have, the resources you're going to have to implement. And by the way, speaking of resources, we have some phenomenal free gifts just for you tuning into this webinar. We're going to give you some of these resources to help you through this, because all of us really have enjoyed the automotive community as a whole. All of us love the dealership. We love working with the dealership employees, and we care about them, and we care about your business. And we know it doesn't matter if you're a dealer principal or a senior leader at a dealership or a frontline worker, We understand the challenges you're going through because we directly interface with you guys every single day. Now I know you're looking at the background and it looks like, 4 guys, we're working out of our mom's basements, right? But we're all we're with you guys. We are in states with stay-at-home orders or provinces, and we're trying to help keep our dealers and our employees safe. So we figured we would use the little bit of extra time we do have to bring you guys some serious value. So let's go ahead and dive in to the content. And I'm going to kick this thing off by, again, coaching you guys through the crisis. My name is Sean Kelley, the Car Biz Coach. I am a keynote speaker. Last year, I spoke at over 10 automotive conferences across the country, consulted for about 30 technology companies. My team of coaches, we have a customized approach to developing your people and processes at your dealership. And we help every individual leader at your store and every employee individually where they want it and need it most. So we are on a mission to bring coaching to the car business. And in this webinar, after spending literally 12 to 15-hour days over the last month, helping you guys see the bags under my eyes. I don't know if you can tell with this lighting, but we've been, your success is our success. So it's really important that you understand that we're in this together and we have to succeed together. And that's why on this webinar, we're going to help you as we come out of the tail end of this and the dust is settling. I'm going to help make sure you can rebuild and align your team around the new challenges you're going to be facing and around your updated objectives. We want to help you craft messaging to impact your results immediately and get business popping again. We want you to be able to leverage the free digital resources we're going to provide you to craft and deliver powerful messaging to your target audience and make sure that your processes are aligned to the market needs. Okay, this is very critical. So these are the 4 objectives that your takeaways from this webinar overall. And the free gifts we have for you, and by the way, guys, this is a picture I took yesterday afternoon. I felt left out because the dealership leaders I was coaching and consulting for had cool masks. They looked looked like Ninja Turtles. So I threw on my, I have a little dry erase thing. I threw that on. Obviously don't need a mask working from the home office here, but we're going to give you guys these gifts, and these gifts are going to help your dealership jumpstart your business, all right, and get back on track and give you that. And this webinar alone is going to give you the clarity you need. So who is this for? First off, this is for dealership leaders who want clarity and want a clear path forward. Anyone who wants to craft better ways to engage their clients in this market, right? Also, dealership leaders who need to do more with less. It's that simple, guys. We have limited staff, we have limited funding, limited budgets, and we need to be extremely resourceful right now. And also, people who want to bounce back quickly. So if that's you, if you are in any of those categories, you're going to want to watch this to the end, and you're going to want to take advantage of the free gifts that we are giving you, okay? And the challenges, and this isn't anything that I'm making up off the top of my head. This is after hundreds of coaching conversations over the past month. And, these are real challenges. If you're already open for business, you're still open for business, you're experiencing these, all right? And if you're not, if you were a dealership that furloughed, closed down temporarily, whatever, then when you do reopen, you're going to, when you do reopen, these are challenges you can expect to deal with. First and foremost, you're going to have employees that are going to be fearful. They're going to be fearful of several different things. They're going to be fearful of getting sick. Okay, that's number one. You will have some employees that have that mindset. You will also have employees that are fearful of contacting customers. The old way, when we would tell our employees to call people and expect them to dial for dollars, a lot of people will resist that and struggle with that simply because of the fact that how can I try to sell at a time like this? Some people they'll take it the wrong way. So that's a real challenge. And we all know this, if we don't talk to customers, we can't sell cars. And the business that's going to come to you organically isn't going to be enough to sustain your business and your team. It's just not. So we've got to be able to help our employees overcome those fears and effectively engage customers with the right messaging. The next thing, and we're going to help you guys with that. The next thing is you're going to have clients, customers, people in your market are going to be fearful of getting sick. It's that simple. I spent, you guys know I usually travel like 200 days a year. I pretty much live on a Southwest airplane, and every Marriott I go into, no matter what state I'm in, they're like, "Oh, hey, Sean, what's going on? You here? Do you want your usual?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I haven't been traveling. I've freed up 6 to 8 days a month at a minimum where I'm not traveling anymore. So I said, what can I do with this time? And, part of me said, man, Sean, you better find some business. Some of your dealers have, closed down. Maybe I should spend my time prospecting. And I decided to do that, but not prospecting for myself. Again, I care about the people I coach so much that I decided to spend my free time prospecting for them. And what I found is that, and I'm talking about sending videos with them, using Covideo to send videos with them. I'm talking about dialing for dollars. What I'm finding is that there are customers that are very fearful about getting sick and they don't want to go out in public. Some of them openly say it. Others, you have to ask them the right questions to pull it out of them. So I want to play a little video for you guys where I experienced this, but I was still able to set an appointment for a dealership real quick. Check this out. David, my name is Sean with Route 18 Chrysler. You reached out, you chatted with one of our reps about turning in your lease and maybe getting another one.
Oh, yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. First off, is everyone safe and healthy and happy?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Nervous as always, as are all of us, but thanks for asking. How about you?
Everyone's good. That's a happy, I get to talk to customers today and everyone's healthy. So it's a win, right?
Yes, that's a good sign.
Well, I'm calling you back. So I see you're wanting to term your Jeep or what are you leasing now? I apologize.
Wrangler.
Wrangler. Okay. Awesome. And I'm curious, I see you're interested in a 2020 Grand Cherokee. What's the reason you'd switch from a Wrangler to a Grand Cherokee? What are your reasons?
Well, the Wrangler was a pretty rocky ride for us. We experienced an accident in it, so we have a little PTSD being in it, quite frankly.
Oh, geez, that's a good reason.
Yeah, and then because it was a 4-year lease, we were stuck in it a little longer than we thought, so it's been kind of like, white knuckling in it at the time since the accident.
I gotcha.
And also we saw and I understand from Brianna that it's no longer available, but we were surprised at the lease deal that was posted on the website. So naturally, we thought that was an unusually low price for it, which I understand how it is with price leader stuff like that goes quickly. But probably we wouldn't have looked at a Grand Caravan otherwise, because it would probably be out of our range.
Okay. Well, first off, it would be an honor for us to help you get out of that cursed vehicle. I'd say it's cursed, but you know what I mean? Like something that you can have a fresh start with. Can we put it that way? Put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It probably saved our life, so no hard feelings for it.
Okay, I like that. That's a good attitude to have, David. I like that. Well, so how familiar are you with, did Brianna walk you through our new digital, purchasing process at all?
No, we haven't experienced this. This is all new to us.
Okay, well, do you have a couple minutes so I could explain that process to you, kind of walk you through it? That way you have clarity and can decide what next steps are for you.
Oh, sure.
Awesome, man. Very cool. Well, so first off, we want to kind of qualify what it is you're trying to accomplish. So, what we found is that when people reach out to the website, even though you've given me some good information here, it's, one of the things we do really well is learn about you and what you're trying to accomplish. And then that way we can show you the perfect Jeep or vehicle the first time, right? So since we usually excel at that in person. So we've created a little link I'll send you. Basically, it's literally a link. It'll take you maybe 5 minutes to answer the questions on there. And then that'll help us kind of zero in on which vehicle will be best for you. And then once we've done that, we'd like to jump on a FaceTime with you and show you the ideal vehicle or the closest thing we have for you, and then if you like that, then what we would do is we would do an online appraisal on your vehicle if you have, or, to see if you're better off, turning it in or buying it out and stuff like that, which, for leasing, it's usually turn it in, get a new one. Right now, that's usually the best option. But anyways, we like to show you your options there. So basically, we'd show you the vehicle, make sure you liked it. Then we would proceed with doing your financing, which again, can all be done through our website. We would just send you that link. And then after you're approved, we would then walk you through your lease payment options. And then if you like everything, you just leave us a small deposit or your money down over the phone to secure the vehicle. And then you can pick it up at our store, where we would do it's up to you. Like, we can do an in-person, walkthrough of all your features and options, or you can do or you can do it virtually if you don't want to have human-to-human contact. And we really are leaving it up to you. So the process all takes, usually it's like, to begin, it's pretty quick. It's probably 30 to 45 minutes. But the only thing is, we have to go in the order we work with people. So there just could be a little bit of a delay just getting to you. I'm curious, is that, are you comfortable? How comfortable are you doing it online like that? He had some real, verifiably fair concerns about his health and safety when it comes to contracting the virus, because he was a high-risk customer. And I only found that out because I asked the right questions. Remember, opportunities are created in the moment through questions, and ultimately you can't get it if you don't ask for it. So when I asked for his concerns, I was able to uncover that he had that high-risk situation, and he was fearful of coming to the store for any reason. So ultimately, I want for you guys to be able to understand that people have these concerns. They're real, they're out there, and you can't find them out unless you ask about them. And one of the other biggest challenges that you're going to face, as you can see in this slide here, is about financial situations. You're going to have customers, let's not call them customers. There are people that are trying to take advantage of the situation by stealing. There's high risk situations with people, when businesses are closed, stay at home order. Crime has gone up in some areas, so that's a concern. And then on the other side, there are customers who are trying to kind of prey on the situation. I'm not saying all of them, but customers see this. They think dealers are going out of business. They remember the cash for clunkers situation back in 2009. And they're asking for deals that are just unbelievable, deals that we can't possibly make. And salespeople, there's a lot of salespeople that didn't make it through. They weren't selling cars in 2009, so they don't know how to address those customers that are really good, just see dollar signs, see this as a chance to steal a car legally or illegally. So we have to help. We have to be able to tackle that issue. We have to make sure our employees are ready for these objections. They know how to handle these situations. And you're probably short-staffed. Most of my dealers that have either reopened or are they're working on a skeleton crew. And ultimately now managers are doing so much more than they were doing before. And they were already doing a lot before, and now they're selling on top of it. They might be using some of the technology tools at their dealership that they never had to use before. They just expected their team to use. This situation creates, bottom line is this: we don't have the bandwidth we used to. We don't have the bandwidth to call our customers one at a time. We can't sell the way we were selling before because everything has changed. So now, that being said, with all of these new challenges, objections, and market changes that you're dealing with and you're going to face if you're not already, you still have to do this. And let's say we still have to do this because, again, we're right there with you. We want to help you do these things. You still have to engage your customers online. That hasn't really changed, right? I mean, let's be real. Just more customers online than before, less will visit your store. You're going to have to engage with customers online. You still need to build trust and rapport. We still need to assess their needs, land the customer on the perfect vehicle. We still have to build value in that vehicle. We still have to appraise their trade-ins. We still have to gain commitments from our customers. We still have to propose options for them. We still have to get F&I, that whole process accomplished, and we have to deliver vehicles. And there's a bullet not on here, but we have to ensure that we retain them in our service departments. So all these things still have to happen. The only thing is that now they have to happen with all those other challenges I outlined before and many others. And I could spend an hour talking about the objections and challenges. I mean, there's people laid off from work. There's customers that straight up say, why are you calling us right now? I just had a death in the family or whatever. Again, the show must go on. We've got to keep the wheels turning. So in this webinar, we're going to give you guys practical and tactical ways to do these things. But I want to help you guys understand some best practices for these things because I've been consulting and coaching dealers and figuring out new ways to accomplish these objectives. So that way, ultimately, we can still sell cars. And I'm going to share just a few best practices with you guys here. Engaging customers online. Guys, personalized video, right? It's that simple. Personalized video, a powerful, powerful tool. I'm going to flip over to another screen real quick for you guys as well. And I'm going to show you guys a digital needs assessment. This is something that you're going to need. This is a digital needs assessment for one of my dealerships. And basically it allows you to engage customers online and basically find out their needs, wants, desires, likes, dislikes. You're going to also be able to find out, and you're going to find out, what concerns they have about shopping. You're going to find out all about their trade situation. You're going to need some sort of needs assessment, because we can't get a lead on a specific vehicle and then just send a proposal and expect the car to sell itself over the internet. It doesn't work like that. So we still have to accomplish those other objectives. And again, we're going to help you guys with that, but you need some sort of digital needs assessment here. Okay. So that's a big recommendation, in addition to your ability to leverage personalized video to engage, but Dustin will talk more on that. So build trust and rapport. We need to get these customers. We've got to get them on the phone, but even better than the phone, you guys, do it live. Use a Zoom. You guys, you can use FaceTime. Facebook video is free. You can get every customer in a household on a Facebook video chat and do a walk around of that vehicle. And then you can build value in that vehicle if you've done an effective digital virtual needs assessment. So highly recommend starting to leverage some of the free video like FaceTime, so you can have live conversations with your customers in real time, showing them the vehicle, gauging, looking at them, engaging their excitement level, making sure you answer those questions and show them the key features that are important to them. Another thing, guys, appraising trade-ins. There are phenomenal online tools for that. I don't think I've met a dealership in the last year that doesn't have some sort of online appraisal tool built into their website. So whatever that tool is, you're going to want to start leveraging it. Most people, their sales teams avoid that like the plague. No pun intended, but they do because they're scared to give a value for a trade to a customer, thinking the customer will go shop it. It won't be a good value. The customer won't like it. So now, guys, since we have to take that deal start to finish, do that live. I recommend, again, a video tool, appraise it with them, do it live. Again, there's a myriad of tools that allow you to do that interactively with your customers. Gain commitments. Guys, what did we used to do to try to get a commitment? We'd ask them if they would own the car right now. And we would ask the customer to take delivery right now, today, right? We still need to do that. So how can we do that virtually when they're not even at the store? I recommend using a tool like Dustin's Covideo to present your proposal, because you can do a screen record, present your proposal, and then ask the customer to secure that vehicle with a deposit. I went to Best Buy last week, and the TV I was interested in that said it was at my local store. All right, I was out in the parking lot. I had a question for the associate. And I said, hey, I asked him if it had a specific type of connection, the Bluetooth. And once he told me that it did, I said, okay, I'll buy it then, and you guys will bring it out. He said, yep. When I went to hit buy, guess what? The TV was no longer available at the store because someone else decided to buy it and come pick it up. We have the same situation with our inventory. Inventory can be scarce for a lot of us right now. And if that is the case, if you haven't been able to buy vehicles at the auction, it's important we let these customers know that and just say, hey, I want to secure that vehicle for you. And the best way to do it is with a deposit. I highly recommend you leveraging some sort of virtual or over the phone or online deposit system to get that commitment, okay? And that way you can secure the vehicle for the customer, and ultimately, you've got a delivery and a sale that you can count on. Weave that in your process, okay? Getting F&I accomplished. I mean, guys, live Zoom, there's no doubt. You can go over the menu, over the phone, on a Zoom, on a any sort of screen sharing technology, doesn't matter, GoToMeeting, whatever. You can do that, go over the menu, have them decide what they want, and then again, print the paperwork, have it ready. And then delivering the vehicles. If you're going to deliver to houses, all right, I think it's really important, and this is to protect you, limit your dealership's exposure by document your online digital process, whatever it looks like. Have this sales process documented, all right, outline it. In that, have a section for employee and customer safety. And some of the things you're going to want to ensure that are in there are, where is the location that you're willing to go. If you're going to an unknown location, Google map that place, make sure it's in a safe neighborhood. Ensure that the employee signs out the car themselves. Everyone needs to know where they're going if they're traveling somewhere to do an offsite delivery. Safety first, okay? And guys, I've coached a lot of people around safety lately because, for the first time ever in the automotive industry, our leaders, we have to worry not just about selling, but we have to worry about health and safety. First time ever. Now, keep in mind, I'm a special operations combat veteran, so for me, leading a team was about results, accomplishing the mission, but it was also about safety. So I think it's critical you're consistently letting your team know that you care about their safety, and they see that you're more, I guess you could say, more stringent than ever about those processes. Because when they see that, they're going to buy into the fact that you care about them. And it's more than just selling a car right now. All right. And by the way, this is a picture of me in the Army. We were joking earlier. That's me on the far side there, the guy with his arms crossed. That's the only time in my life I was ever tan. All right. Well, I had to live in the desert for a year to get that tan. And bottom line, you have to have a clear mission to accomplish. All right. I spent 2 years in combat zones. We never did anything without a clear mission, a clear objective. So all top performers, they start with the end in mind. They clarify a vision. All right. Once they say, this is what selling cars looks like in 6 months or 3 months or a year, whatever it is, clarify that vision. All right. What are these processes? And that's what I'm going to give you guys. This freebie, I'm giving you guys, Car Motivators is going to give you guys, for just attending this webinar, a free consultation to help you develop your message to your team, a message to your database, your customers, and help you kind of consult you for your digital process. Because once you've clarified that and you have that clarity, then you can start setting goals around it. And then you can figure out, what habits do we need? What activities does my team need to be doing? And when you have that clear vision and you've got updated processes, you're also going to need the following: affordable, scalable technology to engage your customers. And Dustin and George are going to give you guys that for free for attending this webinar. And we've got some other things that we can give you, other tools that we can offer you at the end of this that are going to be unbelievable. I can't wait for you guys to see that. And bottom line is this: without the right messaging, no matter what activity you do, it may be ineffective. All right. So you have to have the right content and messaging. And Jason Harris has some amazing marketing. He is a marketing and operations guru in the dealership world. He will help you with that. And bottom line is this: only by defining and clarifying those things can you ensure you bring the right people back to your store. Employee wise, you've got to have the right people in your team that are willing and capable to adopt these new ways of selling. And bottom line is this: should everything go back to the old way? So be it. Wouldn't that be great? But change is the only constant in life. So I think we all need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So align your team to that vision. What does selling cars look like? Who should be a part of that? Okay. And communicate that to your team and your customer base. And also ask yourself this constantly: how do we make money and keep people safe? Now, let me introduce my good friend, Jason Harris. Jason Harris, talked earlier, and he's going to take the microphone here. Jason, I am really excited for what you're going to share with these dealers. How did you feel about what we talked about so far?
John, I think that it's absolutely amazing. In fact, actually, I had a question for you. This is a really stressful time for a lot of dealers out there. And I think there's a lot of dealerships out there asking, like, how do I consistently continue to motivate my staff? What would you say, like, if you were to pick two, and I know there's a lot of different ways to do this, but if you were to say, like here are your top 2 ways just to continue to motivate the staff that is still with us and maybe some of the staff that's having to be laid off right now, what would you say those 2 ways, those top 2 things would be?
Motivating the team is so important right now because people, especially furloughed or laid off employees, can make a pretty good living being laid off for quite a lot of weeks, right? So we need to be able to motivate both sides. So first and foremost, what's in it for them, right? The universal principle of WIFM, WIIFM, stands for what's in it for me. Okay, no one on this planet does anything without a payout. So we as leaders, as dealership leaders, we need to understand what each person on our team wants most and help them understand how changing and growing and stretching their comfort zones will help them get what they want most out of their career. So for instance, if you need an employee to come back and you know that someday they want to move up in the company, let them know that, hey, if you come back and lead by example, you know, yeah, you might not make as much as you could make on unemployment right now, but you're going to lead by example. You're going to show my dealership how committed you are, and this could open doors for you in the future. Be honest with them, but bottom line is this: understand what people want most, find that out, and connect the dots for them. I need you to do this, right? So can this help? Doing this help them get what they want most? So that's number one. And number two would simply be stay positive, man. You know, encourage, you know, support, be there for them. I mean, if you show your people that you care about them and you empathize with their situation, and that is number one, guys. Show them you care, empathize. That will also drive that loyalty, that motivation that you're going to need to rally your team. So, right now we will between each guest, we will turn this over and I'll ask the audience for questions. So I will do that after Jason's part of the presentation right now. So
awesome.
Jason, dive right in, my friend. Let's hear what you got.
I'm excited that we're all able to get together and do this. You know, I mean, I've been sitting in my PJs at home for a while, so it's awesome to see your guys' smiling faces. And I look forward to being able to connect, you know, personally and have a coffee or something harder pretty soon, whenever that may come. But hey, for everyone out there that's watching and listening right now, thank you. You know, thanks for taking the time. You know, it means a lot to us, and it says a lot about yourselves. You know, the fact that you guys are willing to carve out some of your time on a Friday, all right, and spend it with us four schmucks, all right, says that you guys are truly committed to your dealership, your staff, and your database of customers. So, guys, here's what I want to talk about a little bit today is marketing, and I know for a lot of you guys right now that is like far from what you're thinking about. For a fair amount of dealerships, you guys have completely paused your marketing efforts, and I'm gonna have to say I don't think that's probably the best idea out there. I think there is a message that you do need to share. I think what we have to do is we have to actually identify what that message is. You know, Sean, you were talking a little earlier about anxiety. There is a lot of anxious individuals out there right now. There are people out there that legitimately have to service a vehicle. They need to know, how do I service a vehicle, right? There are some people out there that may have to buy a vehicle right now, but they need to know, what is that process? What are those 1 through 7 steps? So there is some messages I think that need to be shared out there. But guys, I know you're not going to have the budgets that you've been so accustomed to, all right, over the last, many years, So I think what it is, we have to identify opportunities, or in this case, I'm going to talk about ad formats that are going to bring you pretty much the biggest bang for your buck. And I'm going to go through 8 of my favorite ones, all right? So you can take a small budget and have a big impact. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll go ahead and get this started. Now, the company's name is Digital Dealership Solutions. I know it is a mouthful, but you can check us out at ddsolutions.ca. There you go. We'll get started like that. All right, guys, the pros and cons of some of my favorite ads. Okay, we're gonna go over YouTube, we're gonna go over Google ads, we're gonna go over Facebook, Instagram ads, and really diversification of your guys' marketing efforts is gonna be key right now. If you are looking at this list right now and you're like, man, I'm only doing like 1 or 2 of those ad formats, then you're really not capitalizing on the small budget that you have. So I'm going to start off right now with Google AdWords because it seems to be the biggest for everybody. Now, the funny thing is I'm actually not really a big fan of Google AdWords, but first let me explain to you why I'm not a big fan of it, because it's not used correctly. All right. For most agencies out there, they're using 1 to 2 word search terms, which is not really enough. The average Google search term now is 5 words. 5 words. That means people are asking very, 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 very specific questions. So look, there's 2.3 million searches performed on Google on a regular basis. And that's crazy, right? But they're asking very, very specific questions. But if we're spending money on very broad terms, then you're spending a lot of money and that little budget's going to get sucked up real fast. All right. The advantages, of course, of using text ads is that these people are really low funnel buyers. Okay. They are looking for the best deal on a blue 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE. I mean, that's literally what they're searching. And that's how you guys need to be bidding. If you are right now just bidding on Toyota RAV4, you're wasting an obscene amount of money because you're not really taking advantage of the power that Google Text Ads have, and that's identifying people very low funnel. The cons of Google Text Words is their cost. Right? Done correctly, you can be around $1, under $1 clicked, but honestly, most accounts, and I would say 90% of accounts that I see don't do it correctly. So I've seen cost per clicks all the way up to $6.50. Now guys, when you take that and divide that kind of cost over a small budget, you're not going to get a whole lot of frequency of what your message is. So it's easy to waste budget in Google search text ads. So if you're not willing to take the time and craft out these long-term searches, just maybe not do this one, pass this one by. Let's talk about the next one. All right, this is one of my favorites, HTML5 Google display ads. All right, display ads have been around for a really long time, and it's nice because as humans, we are very visual people, so we like to connect visually with a brand or a message. The downside with a traditional display ad is that it's only yay big, and you have to cram a lot into a very singular space. Well, the cool thing with HTML5 Google Display Ads is that you can put a lot of message into that small space. In fact, you get right around 15 seconds worth of messages that you're able to rotate through. Now, back in the day, these display ads were super hard to create. In fact, you had to hire someone that knew HTML coding. Today, there are some amazing tools out there, guys, that you can develop, that you can design and create these on your own with very, very little creative or coding experience, right? Bannerwise is one of my favorite ones, but there are other, I think there's also HTML5 Snacks. There's a bunch of cool companies out there that are doing some neat stuff. Very, very low cost, but allows you to create a much more engaged, interactive ad piece. These have 3 times better click-through rates than display ads, and their only average cost per click is right around 50 to 70 cents. That's a far cry from the search text ads that we just talked about that can range anywhere from $1 to $6 a click. Again, guys, take small budgets and let's stretch it out. All right. The cons of this, look, it does take a little bit of time to put this together. Okay. You can't just take your manufacturer's ad, cut it out, and then slap it in here, right? It is going to take a little bit of time to actually put the pieces together. The other downside with this is that there's not a great way to upload these ads. In fact, actually requires a review process. So understand that if you are trying to get something quickly into market, this may not be the best way to do it, because it can take up to 3 to 5 days for Google to actually review the creative before they'll actually allow it into their system. All right, guys, let's talk about one of my next favorite ones. I mean, if you guys follow me, you know I love video. Like, video is a big, big part of my business. And YouTube desktop pre-roll still has a ton of advantages, even though it's probably one of the most oldest ad formats that YouTube has ever come out with. All right. The advantages with using pre-roll is that in YouTube, you're in YouTube in a place to consume something. Right? So the consumption, your brain is literally wired to consume what's in front of you. You know, how many times have you gone to YouTube to watch a specific video, and then all of a sudden you look down and you're like, holy crap, what just happened? 35 minutes later, I just watched 16 kitty cat videos and 4 car review videos. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to insert some pre-roll in here. There's high ad recall. Look, the cool thing with video is that you can evoke an emotion. And anytime that you can evoke an emotion, all right, you have the brain's ability to recall that information is almost 4,000 times higher. Now let's talk about an emotion that you can evoke in video that you can't do maybe with other creative, all right? If you can make someone laugh, which is usually the most common emotion I think you should probably evoke, okay. But if you can pull at their heartstrings or even piss them off, all right, that brain's ability to recall that information is going to be quite high. Now, how does it look to piss someone off? Maybe you put an ad out there, a video ad out there, saying the F-150 kicks the Rams 1500's butt, and here's the reason why. All right, people are going to engage with that, and they're going to remember that content. The great thing with these is that it's incredibly still low cost, 10 to 30 cents cost per view on YouTube. Guys, like, that's crazy. Like, take a moment to really think about that, what I just said. 10 to 30 pennies for someone to consume 15-second video that has a much higher probability of being retained in the brain than any other ad format that we've talked about. All right. Of course, obviously, one of the downsides with this is that it does take some cost to create. But the incredibly low cost to put the ad out there, I think far outweighs the creative cost to actually get the video done. The other downside with this ad format is that you do get a low click-through rate. This is not typically an ad that has a high click-through rate. It's great for awareness. It's great for high frequency of somebody who maybe already visited your website and you want to make sure that you're staying in front of them all the time, but don't expect a whole lot of traffic from this ad format. But guys, at that cost per view, huge opportunities. Now, talk about cost per view. Let's talk about the next ad format, because you guys are going to really get a kick out of this one. All right, YouTube vertical mobile video ads. I know I said vertical. In fact, actually, a lot of people don't even know that they even exist. When you're on your phone, YouTube, in the past, you usually see an ad and it's like this tiny, super, super thin at the top. Well, YouTube will actually allow you to actually input vertical ad formats, vertical video formats. Now, the cool thing with this is that 20% of pre-roll that's out there right now is less than 20% is actually made for mobile, which that means that there is a substantial amount of real estate that's still available to you. The cool thing is that really drives down the cost per view. In fact, this actually has one of the lowest cost per views of anywhere from a penny to 5 cents. I've actually seen cost per views for dealerships on vertical YouTube pre-roll even go under a penny. I know that's crazy, right? I actually thought there was something wrong with the account. I had to send a support ticket in, but no, sure enough, I had a dealership actually reporting a cost per view of half a penny. Guys, small budgets, big impact. This is a huge opportunity. Now, of course, what's the downside of this ad format? Again, cost of creating. All right, you can't just take a traditional, commercial from your manufacturer, which is done in a 16:9 format, and just plop it in here. Someone is going to actually have to cut and edit and create a piece that's actually vertical. The other downside of this is a loading issue, right? Depending on your device and where you're located and what your bandwidth is, sometimes these things kind of are a little chunky to load, and that can kind of screw a little bit with user experience. But again, as networks get better, in the US right now, there's a lot of cellular companies that are introducing 5G. This will no longer be an issue, but for us here in Canada, there is a little bit of an issue there just to be aware of. Facebook carousel ads. Guys, this is the oldest ad format Facebook has. Ironically, though, it's still the one that just incredibly creates high engagement. So the cool thing with a Facebook carousel ad is that you get more room. All right, you can insert up to 10 images or videos, which is cool, to really kind of tell the story of your product, or in this case, how can I actually buy a vehicle online, or how can I service? What is those 1 through 10 steps? If I need to come to you right now and service my vehicle during this time, right? This is a beautiful, beautiful ad format to kind of explain where someone can swipe through and see the 1 through 10 steps that they'll have to take. And at the end of them swiping through and consuming your 1 through 10 steps, or 1 through 7, whatever it is, all right, they'll actually be able to click and schedule that service appointment, or click and shop and start that online shopping experience right away. The cost per clicks on these are also very reasonably priced. You're right around 30 cents to 70 cents. The neat thing with Facebook, the real strength in Facebook, is the which is Instagram has too, but it's cool on Facebook. The share function, which is way stronger on Facebook than it is Instagram. So to be able to instantaneously take a piece of creative because you like it and share it into your own news feed is super, super fast. The other cool thing is actually being able to tag people. If you know somebody, let's say I see this ad and it's for a Honda dealership and it's for their service process, and I know that my neighbor, John Smith, all right, drives a Honda, and I know we were just talking about how he doesn't know where to service his vehicle. It is super easy for me to go into the comments and tag John Smith. Now, why is tagging important? Well, because now that customer, or now that person, my neighbor, will actually get a notification that I had just tagged them in this piece of creative. Facebook, that's a big, big power with Facebook that you don't get with Instagram, simply because on Instagram, you're normally not listed as John Smith. You're Hunky John, all right, _ hot bod. That can be your Instagram handle. On Facebook, though, you live as John Smith. So it's easy to tag people. The downside, it is an old ad format. So it is heavily used, and you are competing against a lot of other agencies, a lot of other companies out there that are using the format as well. Another con is a higher level of design knowledge is kind of required here, because you have this transition, this consistent transition from one image to one image, or from video to image, or video to video. All right, it does take considerably more time to put this together, but it's still one of the oldest formats that Facebook has, but has incredibly high engagement with low cost. And there's a lot of opportunity with the tagging functions. All right, guys, next. Facebook stories with videos. You know, there's actually a lot of people don't even realize that Facebook now has a story function. Everybody's pretty aware of what Instagram stories are, but they're not typically aware of what the Facebook stories are. The cool thing with this is it's a 15-second run. And because not a lot of people are aware that you can run Facebook story ads right now, there is a lot of real estate that's available to us as an industry, which then creates cheap views. Whenever there is a lot of supply and a little demand, that's going to drive the cost way down. So this is a great opportunity right now at Facebook stories with video to insert something at a low cost of only anywhere between a penny to 3 pennies. The neat thing with Facebook, it has amazing retargeting options. So, you know, the idea behind a video ad is that you place the video ad out there, someone consumes it. That's great. I love the fact they consumed it. But then what's the next step? What's the next step after that? The next step after that? The next step after that? The neat thing with Facebook's retargeting options, I can retarget based on people that actually just consumed the video. Not necessarily if they did a click, but they just simply consumed it. So let's say they consume my first video, but they didn't click. I can feed them up another video, and I can kind of create this breadcrumb type effect to eventually take a call to action that I decided I want the customer to take. That's super cool with Facebook. Again, low cost, guys, something to do. Great brand awareness. You can see it's full screen, very immersive. The downside with this, low conversion rates. Okay. Because it's a new ad format, I still think customers are not aware of, you actually have to kind of swipe up or what you need to do with it. But the neat thing is that it does awesome for awareness. Another downside of this product is it doesn't have auto audio. Meaning the customer actually has to click for the audio to be turned on. That's okay though, as long as you're aware of that. Then in your creative, you don't necessarily need to have the audio in there. You create creative that doesn't require audio. So guys, check it out. Low cost Facebook stories with video. Awesome opportunity. All right, guys, this is the pocket knife of digital ads. Okay, if there's any ad format out of all the ones I went through, this is the one that you need to take notes on. Okay, because it is literally the pocket knife of all digital ad formats. It's called Facebook Instant Experience. Also used to be known as Canvas ads, but they evolved the product. Okay, Facebook Instant Experience. I know it gets a little confusing, has nothing to do with Instagram. So it is a Facebook product. All right, the Facebook Instant Experience loads instantly. They're mobile optimized and they're designed to capture the complete attention of your audience. The pros of this product is that it's a 1-2 knockout ad. In typical ad formats, you present the ad with a call to action, a click. They click on that and then they leave whatever the network you're in or Facebook area, and then they go over to a landing page that you've defined. So there's kind of a disconnect. It's like I'm in Facebook and then I have to leave, browser opens up, loads a landing page. Well, with Facebook Instant Experience, everything stays in Facebook. So it is a very clean, very fast process. So the 1-2 is I see the ad, I click on the ad, all right? The ad then opens up kind of like a microsite within Facebook. So they're still in Facebook, right? Now in that microsite, they get to consume more information. So in the ad itself, all right, I click, then they consume the 7 steps that I have or 10 steps that I have to service with me or to buy online. And then at the bottom that I can create that call to action to go shop our online inventory or to schedule that appointment. But it's that 1-2 knockout of an ad. The cool thing is it's low cost for high engagement. Again, this is an ad format that's not commonly used because it does take considerably more time to put together. We've seen CPCs or cost per clicks right around 50 cents to $1, but the quality of traffic that's coming off these ads is through the roof. Another advantage with this ad format, there are tons of call to actions. All right. You can send someone to a website. You can actually ask them to fill out a form right there in Facebook. You can even put a button just to say, call me if you have questions. You can even put a live chat button. There are all kinds of call to actions with this ad format, which makes this literally a pocket knife of all digital ads. The downside of this, lots of time to make. You're talking multiple pieces of creative, not only just the creative for the ad, but also the creative for the little micro page that goes inside and then where it goes after that. We see low CTR rates. So there's not a lot of click-throughs on here for the simple reason is because they get so much information, all right, for that 1-2. They see the ad, they see the microsite within the Facebook platform. So they consumed all the information they need. Do they really need to click through? That's a disadvantage, but the advantage is when they do click through, the quality of that traffic is incredibly high. So again, guys, diversify your ad portfolio, all right? Take a small budget, stretch it far. This is a very, very impactful ad format, and I highly, highly recommend it. Instagram Square ads, right? They've been around forever. It's a pretty straightforward ad format. Okay, one of the things I don't particularly like about the Instagram Square ads is that it's creative first, ad copy second. Okay, if you actually take a look at your Facebook ads, all right, at the top of the creative is where your ad copy exists. So that's where you can put your text. All right, if you look at an Instagram ad, and you can see in the example that we have here, all right, that it is creative first, and then ad copy, which is a slight disconnect, I think, for most people out there. Very fast growing audience on Instagram, so that's a huge plus. Very detailed targeting. Instagram, I think, actually has probably one of the best detailed targeting out there. So when you're thinking if you want to target a male between the ages of 45 and 55 that likes hiking, camping, and skiing or fishing, all right, there's just so many opportunities here to identify audiences, not just by demographic, but by hobbies, by likes, by shopping patterns. There's just a lot of opportunity. Again, low cost though, too, right? Average CPC we see on a Instagram Square ad is right around 20 cents to 90 cents. One of the other cons, I kind of talked about it earlier on the last slide, is the targeting. Because in Instagram, you don't live as Jason Harris, you live as, well, in my case, sexy dude. No, I'm just kidding. That's not my Instagram handle. I live as Strategy with Jason. Okay. If you don't know that's what my handle is, it's hard to tag me in something like this. Instagram story videos. Boy, would probably be right up there in my top 2, top 3 ad formats. Instagram stories is just another way for you to tap into people's passions and inspire them to take action. It's a very immersive ad format. It's a full screen interaction, so it's really beautiful. We see high click-through rates because it's got this real smooth swipe up function. It's like I can consume the ad and the creative and what the call to action is, and then all I have to do is swipe up to take the next action. Also incredibly low cost, even though the cost of these ads have been consistently going up over the last 3 or 4 quarters. There's still a lot of opportunity here at only 30 to 70 cents cost per click. Guys, this is another ad format that would probably be in my top 3 as far as diversifying my efforts. Of course, the cons, it has a limited audience, all right? There's not as much of Instagram. People that use Instagram use stories, okay? So roughly only about 60% of people that are using Instagram regularly check stories. So the audience is slightly limited. So if Instagram is going to be a big part of your guys' marketing strategy, I would recommend that you diversify between both the Square ads and the story video ads. Mobile specific, the creative has to be mobile specific. So that's another con, right? You have to create mobile vertical specific creative with this ad format. All right, guys, that rounds up my favorite ad formats. I know I totally info dump on you guys. So feel free, all right, after this, if you guys want to hit Strategy with Jason, email me a question, or I literally live on LinkedIn, as most of you guys probably know. Feel free to DM me there anytime to ask any questions. But with that said, and my way and our team's way of saying thank you for joining the webinar today, we are offering you guys a free creative package. We do an obscene amount of creative, and here's how I want to help. I want to help put together a creative package for you guys that will explain what are those 1 through 10 steps that a customer has to take to service a vehicle with you. Or what are those 1 through 10 steps a customer has to take if they need to purchase something from you right now. This creative package includes a lot. Homepage slides, inventory banners, email pieces, Facebook ads, Google ads, the whole shebang. So that's our way of saying thank you for taking your time and joining us today. Sean, that is what I have. Thanks, man. This was a lot of fun. This is cool. Like, hope you guys enjoy the next couple speakers.
Jason, really great stuff there, man. I think the free gift that you're bringing for the people who attended this webinar it's going to bring a lot of value, right? Because I think with the marketing consultation or the messaging and process consultation, they leverage that from Car Motivators. Then they can share with you specifically what those processes are. And now you see how this is like a 1-2 punch. And just wait till you guys see what George and Dustin have for you guys too, because that's going to also greater enhance the freebies we're giving you here. That being said, let's go to the audience because there's a few questions. So let me pick one here and ask you, Jason. Jason, there's a dealer principal, and Jeff's asking, I've got an issue getting my marketing agency to create ads for my website. It sounds like his concern is that he wants to update stuff so his website the messaging people are seeing is relevant to the situation. How long he's asking, how long should it take an agency with everything going on to update the graphics and the sites? What would your opinion be on that, Jason, being one of the top marketing agencies on the planet for automotive?
Well, that's actually one of the reasons why almost all of our creative is done in HTML5. In just a traditional piece of creative, all right, you're going to have to, open up Photoshop, edit whatever the new offer is, edit all the new details, so on and so forth, save it, and then re-upload it. The neat thing with HTML5 is that we can actually edit within the system and push those edits in real time. So, for example, we probably edit and update right around 1,800 ads a month. 1,800. There's a lot of ads, right? But we're able to edit and update all those 1,800 ads in a 24-hour period. But that's because we're using HTML5 rather than just using just a simple display ad. So if your agency is not using that type of tech or using that type of creative, I don't know, go find another one.
Great answer, Jason. So from the time they complete the process and value proposition consultation with myself or one of my coaches, to the time they connect with you and share the value proposition and processes with you, how long do you think it'll take to get those ads for the graphics to them, the free graphics?
We'll have a complete creative package for you ready in 24 hours.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Because it looks like Jeff, it takes a while for his to get updated. So that's super fast.
Jeff, you get a new agency. That's what I think.
That's timely, Mr. Harris. Thank you so much. So Jason, again, great knowledge. Thanks for helping the dealerships that are viewing this identify their most affordable marketing spend to get more marketing done with less ad spend. So great stuff. Now we're gonna pass the torch here to Dustin Baumis from Covideo. Dustin is a video expert. He works with hundreds of dealership personnel and helps them integrate video into their process. And there's no doubt video has got to be part of your digital sales process right now, whether you're doing full digital retailing or just engaging internet leads. Dustin's going to have some great value today. So Dustin, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to hear what you say, my friend. So dive in.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Sean. Really appreciate it. Jason, thank you so much for the great content leading into this as well, touching on some of the video aspects. Right now, we do find ourselves in kind of a video imperative. Dealers before this, customers and businesses before this, they've looked at video as a nice to have or an edge that they're willing to kind of invest some time and some effort into having and securing because they like to lead the industry and be kind of on the cutting edge. But now we're finding that it's no longer, in our current environment, it's no longer a want or a nice to have. It is a must have. It's not just for the edge. It is to stay on the ledge, so to speak. Sorry for rhyming. But right now, we're going to talk about kind of some of the strategies. I'm going to give some best practices, some types of videos and things to be aware of in the current environment to assist in the COVID-19 pandemic, to help us keep as much control over our business as possible and to save jobs and make sure we keep the economy as healthy as possible so we can come out of it stronger. I've seen the automotive space rise to the occasion on numerous events, and this is no different. We are going to adapt and we're going to rise to the occasion. And all the while, I see dealerships doing incredible things with supporting nurses, grocery store workers, construction workers, people that have to be out there right now. So they're taking care of their people. They're taking care of as much in their community as they possibly can, all while trying to figure out how to stay in business. So video is going to be one of those virtual tools that truly helps you become a digital retailer or virtual retailer, and will magnify any efforts that you guys have in your marketing, your continued follow-ups, and your sales process. So let's talk about the safe and responsible human touch. Customers' perception is our reality. Our industry has always had a battle with that. And the messaging, the perception is always changing, whether it was Hollywood creating tropes of the used car salesman that now all of a sudden we all get kind of set up as how customers look at us. It's not going to be a fun experience. They're going to try and take advantage of you. You can't trust a car dealer. Heck, when we look at the statistics on where dealerships and car salesmen are on how people trust them, in all the surveys, we rank above only congressmen, right there with lawyers and congressmen, and I can't believe that. But it is the perception and it's the reality we live in, which is why we always put out the message. We're going to have an incredible customer experience, and we create that awareness around it. Well, that's kind of what we've dealt with for a while. Dealerships suck. Buy online. Carvana. They want to basically play on that perception to springboard their business. And nothing against Carvana. They're doing their thing to make sure they're noticed, and they're pitching their value proposition. And there are customers that truly hate dealing with that experience based on their perception. So again, we worked hard to create a better perception for ourselves and rise to the occasion. However, that is under attack again. I can't turn on Hulu and watch shows here in my brick and wood island that we're all stuck on right now. We're streaming more video than ever to keep entertained and to stay connected. Every time I turn on Hulu, I get this ad.
In this world where people are staying at home, many of life's moments are being put on hold. At Carvana, we understand that for some, getting a car just can't wait. That's why the new way to buy and sell a car is also the safer way. At Carvana, you can do it all 100% online from home, with a touchless delivery and pickup process to keep you safe. And for even greater peace of mind, all Carvana cars come with a 7-day return policy. Shop now and get up to 90 days to make your first payment. Check out Carvana, the safer way to buy a car.
They're using that video ad, and as Jason hit on earlier, they're hitting emotion hard. This is going to be a very memorable message for the customer. They're laughing and enjoying their entertainment, and then they get this ad, and all of a sudden they're pissed off, as Jason hit. They're pissed off, and they're scared, and fear is a very powerful motivator. That molds the customer's perception. So we have to rise to the occasion again, reinvent ourselves, Restaurants did this overnight. The second that this hit, they started creating online ordering, delivery, pickup, curbside, contactless, and they made sure the world knew about it. They were hanging signs, they were posting banners on their website, they were running advertisements for themselves. And for some restaurants, this was easier because they were known to be for delivery or fast food, etc. And others, they really had to get the message out there. And I think that's the important piece to take away from this, is we need to shout that we are open. We need to let them know the process that we have in place to keep them safe, and we have to continue educating them throughout the process. Camping World is one of our customers. We've been working with them for a long time at the store level. They just brought on 160 stores. We got it signed on Wednesday last week. We had everything, all the creative created by Friday, and then we launched all 160 stores, training all their employees the subsequent week. We can get you guys to market quickly for virtual visits, vehicle video walkarounds for their trailers and their fifth wheels. And they are buying advertisements, all the great content that Jason has talked about. They are making sure they're leveraging their marketing right now to reinforce their message and to stay as healthy as possible. We can't cut our marketing budgets right now. We can monitor them. We can make sure we're spending it right, choosing the right partners, communicating clearly with those partners, but we cannot give up on it. And video, again, is going to make sure that that is remembered. And that's what we want to do. Here's a perfect example. Now, we just saw Camping World do it at the corporate level. This is an individual person who is doing her darndest to make sure that her dealership, her community, and her income are intact moving through this as best as possible. So she sent out a video through our system. It says, we're here, we're selling, we have a plan. I will play this video for you, but first I think it's important to see kind of the results of it. She sent me an email and said, this is the most successful email that I've ever sent. Within 7 hours, I had over 1,100 views on the video, 35 web leads, several replies, and it resulted in 11 appointments during this time. So she sent this message out. She's letting the world know that they're open, they have a plan, and they have a process.
Hey everyone, it's Spring and Alex Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat here in Waco. I hope everybody is safe and well. I wanted to let you know that during these uncertain times, we are doing absolutely everything we can here at the dealership to help you. So currently, we are offering all business to be conducted via phone, text, call, email, and additionally, we're offering at-home test drives and local delivery on vehicle purchases. So lastly, I want to let you know that our wonderful manufacturers are offering amazing deals to help out during this time as well. So you can currently get 0% financing for 84 months and no monthly payments for 90 days on select inventory. So if you have any other questions or need any other information, please don't hesitate to call or text me. My cell phone number is listed above me, and it is 254-715-2238, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.
I'd love to follow up with her. I'm going to follow up with her today to see what those numbers ended up becoming. But she's, as an individual, she is letting her customers know exactly what's going on. So it's all about the awareness, marketing, personal efforts, etc. Video holds attention significantly better than anything else. So we're going to use that throughout the sales process to educate them on our process, let them know exactly how we're doing it, whether it's sales or service or finance even. That is going to help develop trust, that transparency, that guidance. It's going to bring a comfort to them that is unmatched, and that's going to make them feel emotions towards you, which are very memorable, which leads to a relationship. Lastly, we're going to use it to make sure we are thanking those customers during this time, letting them know how much we appreciate it, because that becomes your video business card. The paper ones we can't physically hand out very well right now. People aren't exchanging them, and even in the previous normal, they run out, they get lost in a drawer, thrown away, or given to the wrong people before the right referral comes along. So make sure we're using video to let people know, even though this is a touch-free process, it doesn't have to be humanless. People are definitely shopping, even in some of the hardest hits areas. You're seeing numbers of 15% on used car transactional content up, 21% up in new car research. And these numbers specifically are from New York, one of the hardest hit states. And dwell time engagement. So research and shopping is up, even though foot traffic, appointments, and buying is down. That means two things. It means there are a lot more buyers and a lot more window shoppers. We have to cut through the clutter and figure out who's who. So that brings me back to Carvana. everything is based on a little bit of truth. They're not all wrong. They have proven to us that digital retail is possible, that customers will buy that way. So let's make sure we're being the best parts of them without losing the best parts of us, our people, and the customer experience that they can receive in that relationship. We're going to touch on some touch-free strategies. Feel welcome to screenshot this, but we'll get more into this in the slides to follow. And some of these I'm going to fast track to make sure we get to the best content, the most helpful content for you, but you will receive these PowerPoints. So do make sure we're equipping our people, enabling them, whether it's technology or hardware, or even just enabling permissions from IT. Make sure we're enabling our remote teams in addition to our limited teams that might be in the showroom. Now, how do we start letting customers know that we are open for business and continue to hold their attention throughout the process? First, we start with marketing, going out to YouTube, Facebook, working with your agencies and your partners to get the message out there in the first place. And then we need to hold true to that and continue to reinforce it. Video, not only is it, what did you say, Sean? If you touch an emotion, it's like 4,000 times more memorable. Just in general, even if you have a video period versus text, it's 10 times more memorable to remember the exact content that is being said and how it makes them feel, strong emotion or not. So if we're doing a first impression in our sales process, we need to make sure that we're making good on our virtual experience. We have to be doing a personalized message for that customer. If we're doing an email, we need to make sure we're using the word video in the subject line. It will increase your opens by 19%. And the thumbnail is very important. No matter what strategy you pick, whether it's a YouTube link and you paste it in there, make sure you are creating a thumbnail. Get a screenshot, hyperlink it with the link, because YouTube just pasted in there is going to be plain text. We really need to drive the thumbnail because YouTube's data themselves says that a thumbnail will get 3 times the clicks. And if you personalize that thumbnail, you'll get 5 times the clicks. Now, I'm not going to play this whole video here, but we're going to show the first few seconds to kind of show you how she's personalizing this thumbnail for a customer. So just a few seconds in there, you can see how she holds up the whiteboard. It takes a matter of 2 seconds to write down a customer's name on a whiteboard, hold it up, and make sure they see that this video was personalized to them. This is a true virtual experience, not a canned, automated robotic process. These are real people here to help. That is something our vending machine type experiences and other true digital retailers, that is something they can't have. They don't have the people or resources to deal with the volume of stuff coming in. We can do this, and that will give us a huge advantage over the changing perceptions. Vehicle walkarounds, another really important piece here. 72% of people prefer video when researching their next vehicle. 82% of internet traffic today is video, and ultimately customers are 75% more likely to buy after viewing a video during research or shopping phases. And let's not ignore the fact that even when they're shopping with us, they're still researching. They're researching us, they're researching the specific vehicle, the price, the information, etc. So let's make sure we have video as a part of that. I won't play this video, but you'll get access to it. At the end, again, they reinforce, just like in the personalized video, their process, that it is safe, they have a process in place, and what that process is. Super important. A few ways to handle this right now, because every dealership, every state is a bit different. If you have access to the lot, you can do a personal walk around right from your cell phone, get that content to the customer. If you are instead in a position where you can't have instant access to the lot, maybe you have a person at your dealership go around and make vehicle walkarounds that can be part of a video asset library that your remote teams can access, whether that's storing in YouTube or in a Covideo library, etc. I don't care what kind of video you use right now, who you use it with or through, we have to be getting video out there. Last but not least, there are screen recording softwares, ourself, Screencast-O-Matic, and many others. Heck, you can even use Zoom as an kind of a modification of this. It's not the perfect experience, but you can record your screen. You can walk through search results pages, information, finance, value, trade, or even a vehicle detail page and go through those information there if you can't get anyone to the lot. So lots of options and ways to kind of pivot to your personal needs and your customers' needs. we'll kind of fast pace through this, but do make sure that we're accommodating and empathetic. There are going to be situations where customers do not want to leave their homes, and there are going to be other situations where they refuse to have anyone near their homes. They don't want you bringing your stuff to them. So no matter what, be flexible for drop off, pickup, or delivery in all sales or service situations, test drives, trade valuations, and make sure, again, we are using video to explain the process. If they're dropping off the vehicle, let them know where they need to drop off their trade so that you guys can evaluate it. Let them know where they can find the test drive. Let them know the keys are in the ignition and that you've wiped it down and that you'll wipe it down again before they get their vehicle back. Let them know these pieces, and don't assume anyone is going to sanitize for you or that your employees are fully educated on the proper sanitization processes. Use video to educate everybody internally and externally on that. Virtual finance. Guys, this is a huge opportunity now that restrictions are loosening a little bit here, but with opportunity always comes risk. There is always a balance. Sean hit on customers taking advantage in the negotiation process, but we also need to make sure we're following normal background and screening processes, no exception. Do not get excited if you sell 10 cars today versus 3 cars, if those people are actually using this as a fraudulent opportunity. They thrive in anonymity. Because they don't have to actually come in and meet you anymore, they're going to take advantage of this. So just follow your normal processes and don't let excitement put you at risk. Recommending service, our essential business. As long as it is safe and we can keep our employees and our customers safe, we're keeping these open and we're making sure we're getting these vehicles serviced. Video is more crucial here than ever before because every penny and dollar we pick up in service is going to make sure that our whole dealership is stronger and healthier as we get through this and come out the other end. But more importantly, our customers are more price sensitive than ever. They don't know if they're being furloughed, laid off. If they're an essential worker, they don't know if they're going to get sick, what their savings are going to look like after this is all said and done, and how long this is going to last. So we need to be empathetic and aware that it's not just us businesses that are uncertain, it's our customers. And in addition to customers, again, wanting to make sure they get the best prices right now because they feel like they can take advantage of that right now, there's legitimate fear out there. So when we use video in the service drive, we can put the service technician, the service advisor, the decision maker that we know and get to talk to, and the decision maker or influencer that we'll never get to speak to. We can put all 4 pieces on the same page. Let them see exactly what's going on with their vehicle, what needs serviced immediately, what is something that needs to be monitored, and what is something that we can ignore because it's in great condition right now. Let them actually see the whole amount of what's going on, because I promise you before the pandemic, they weren't getting the whole picture. Our factory trained service advisors, experts in their area, know how those calls are going to go. They know what is going to end up being approved and not approved, and what's going to cause tension in that conversation as they try to explain the service. Before the pandemic, 60% of service wasn't even being presented to the customer at most dealerships. So this is going to make sure they don't even have to worry about that fear of how the customer is going to receive the information because they've seen it on their own, and now it's about keeping them safe and them being in the exact know of what's going on with their vehicle and the value that is being provided to them. You'll see a significant boost in your CSI scores, and again, it's important to pick up every penny here to make sure we're maintaining as much normalcy as possible. The average RO pre-pandemic was going up by $100. So just using service video in your service can make a huge impact on how healthy you guys remain during this time and how strong you come out after we get to our next new normal. Internal use, we won't stay on this very long, but definitely make sure you're using Zoom, GoToMeeting, and other ways to stay in touch with your team. One, it's really important if you guys are completely remote right now to see each other's faces. Sans masks, it's good to see people actually smiling and not just their smiling eyes. So that's really important. Use it for training, important updates. Recognition, super important right now. Let people know that they are being noticed, even though you can't physically see them working, you see the results and you really appreciate it. Social interactions as well. And then obviously our vendor partners that can't come into our store like they used to be able to, make sure we're using video to communicate with them as well. So let's hit on the types of video that can be used right now. And I know I'm not hitting everything here, but these are some of the most common and easily accessible options for you. Video files. Now, in an everyday course of business, I would never recommend this. However, it's not the normal circumstance. So if there is no other choice for you or no other willingness to do it in another way, do what it takes to get video to your customers all the same. Use video files. Just be aware that there are a few cons with this. One, you don't own the video content. It becomes the customer's as soon as it's sent. It lives on the employee's phone or device. So again, as soon as that's deleted, you don't have it. Reliability on delivery. I would never rely on this to be delivered. Hope that it gets through. Wonder if they engage it. That's fine. It's not going to work for everybody, but carriers are going to block this. File size and restrictions are going to come through, quality issues, etc. But again, if this is the lesser of all evils, using video and then making sure we're not relying on it via video file, that is an option that has zero outright expense to you. It'll cost you more if you assume that the video is going to work every time though, so be aware of that. Social, we've touched on this quite a bit. It's huge right now. It's 100% in your marketing and your advertising. We have to be using this. The pre-roll ads on YouTube, etc. The pros and cons of this: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. They're reusable. They can be double-edged in sales, but at the same time, it's still very powerful. The negatives of that double-edged sword in sale can still outweigh the costs and the savings and things like that. So if we're using social in our marketing, wonderful. If we're using it in our sales process, be aware that you are sending them to your competitors' pre-roll ads. You are sending them to the most distracting environments in the world, and don't expect this to be a silver bullet. It is still going to give you more benefit than negative if you use it, but just be aware of those conditions as you take advantage of it. It can be slower. There could be a lack of accountability. So just, again, be aware of the pros and cons, but video being as important as it is right now to be a digital retailer, we cannot overlook social in any of our departments. Live apps, FaceTime, Hangout, Duo, Skype, etc., things like that. These are incredibly powerful in when they work, optional in sales and service. You can use it in finance, etc., to have these live interactions. Just be aware that they can create some longer conversations. They can create delayed decisions during that conversation, especially in service. If you're walking through everything, they're going to want to make sure they get all of their confidence done. And if they can't see something in the video, if the intermittent connectivity kicks out or the audio kicks out, you're going to have to repeat yourself a lot. But these live interactions are super powerful when they work. Other things to be aware of: because they're free, there is always going to be an essential barrier to time and connectivity, barrier to whether or not you both have FaceTime or both on Apple. Duo can work cross-compatible, which is nice, but a lot of people don't have Duo, so be ready for these kind of technological interruptions or barriers to have to walk customers through getting these things set up and then connecting even after the fact perfectly. But again, powerful opportunity here. It's free and super helpful in the right situations. Then there are the professional options. If you are blessed enough to be in a position where you have enough of your team, you have enough of your budget that you can actually put towards professional video solutions like Zoom, GoToMeeting, or Covideo, etc., then those business tools are going to add a level of quality, reliability. They are going to give you, let me go back here. They're going to give you even more functionality. With recordings, you own them. There's no limit to use cases, audience department, and then you also have that human element for this too: customer service, technical support, and training. All super important. I got dealerships out there right now that have pages on their website where they'll actually have drop downs of virtual meetings where they let the customer pick: do I want to meet via Zoom, GoToMeeting, FaceTime, etc. They'll list these options. They'll let the customer pick a time and then be off to the races. There are some technical problems here that we still need to be aware of in your settings. For instance, a great tip for Zoom: I believe there is a setting that you can choose them to join via the web portal only. That will bypass the need for downloading GoToMeeting or Zoom on the customer's computer and having some hangups on knowing how to do that. Make sure you're having your settings changed to web joining only, and that will remove some of those negatives. I think that's everything that I have here. So thank you guys so much. I am always happy to help give advice on video, no matter what format. I don't care right now, as long as we're helping you get video out there. I will consult on best practices around it that go much deeper than what we were able to cover today. My contact information is on the page, and I know it'll be sent out afterwards as well.
Dustin, thank you so much for sharing your video wisdom and some great insights there. We do have a couple questions from the audience for you. Before we do, to your point earlier about the tapping into the emotional, the thing Jason had also brought up. You talked about how Carvana is doing, they've kind of changed their message to safety, right? Versus, and by the way, another large automotive company who has adapted extremely quickly. And by the way, it's unbelievable. CarMax actually, their whole mantra right now is they're saying going the social distance, and they've created pickup, drop-off, contactless car purchasing processes. So, if you're not, again, and another thing too, to Dustin's point here, right? He's like, this isn't the silver bullet, right? Video alone isn't the silver bullet. Having a process alone isn't the silver bullet. Having the right marketing and content messaging isn't the silver bullet. But when you start combining these things, right, it greatly enhances the effectiveness, guys. This isn't one silver bullet, it's a system. And that's why the four of us got together and consulted with our companies and our dealers to figure out what could we give you for free for attending this webinar that would be extremely impactful and help you through these times, be timely, impactful, and effective for you and help you get that clarity. So Dustin, awesome stuff. Why don't you tell everyone what you're giving everyone for free for joining this webinar?
Absolutely. So basically, we're going to have 2 weeks of free unlimited access, unlimited users. You're going to get a manufacturer branded template to house your videos in. And then we're also going to be helping assist with housing a video and hosting that video for your email campaign that will be created and sent out through, I think it's through the Bumper platform directly, with some of Jason's creative and content there with your messaging, Sean. And then we're also offering consultations for that access period as well. So you can get a plan put together that will help you right now with the right people, with the right process.
Very cool. And thank Covideo for you guys giving that to our dealer community. I think they're really going to see value in that. And the ones that don't already have video, to get the opportunity to have free video right now is very, very cool. So that's great. And for those of you, if you've registered for this webinar and you're watching it, you will be receiving those free gifts from all four of our companies. Now let's go ahead and pass this torch to George, because he plays an integral part. What Bumper is going to do for you today plays an integral part in your success. Bottom line is this: you guys have less employees than you ever have probably, and we need scalable ways to contact our customer database and communicate to them. And what George is going to be bringing you today is going to be teaching you some things around that, and again, giving you some of those tools. So I'm really excited to introduce you guys to George. And if you haven't heard of Bumper now, then you're going to hear about it, and it's going to blow your mind. My job and as a coach and consultant for dealers across the country is to stay on the cutting edge of the latest and greatest technology tools that are available. And this is one that is going to blow your mind. So, and George has some great content to deliver. So George, thank you for being a part of this, and I appreciate. I'm grateful for your company and your team for donating some free services, some free, really great, tangible stuff. So George, let me give you the microphone, man, and take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Sean. Really, all my webinar colleagues, Jason and Dustin as well. Perfect kind of segue from Dustin. With respect to video, I'm going to get into personal web pages with you and how video is actually communicated through those personal web pages, where you're actually customizing that specific message to that individual customer, and then our system, the way it tracks the behaviors, so you actually know when you're following up what specific message or how you should be communicating with them. So good afternoon, everybody. I really appreciate your time. And for those that are still awake, I look forward to sharing with you a little bit about what Vicimus does. And then I wanted to leave you with some campaign strategies that you could actually implement immediately. So, who are we? We are, in fact, a technology marketing company that provides website and marketing solutions for automotive dealerships, automotive groups, and auto OEMs. All of our products are designed to be used in-house and have a super easy user experience, so all dealership department heads, marketing managers can quickly and easily get their message to their audience. Our most popular product we offer is Bumper. It's our marketing and communication platform, which I will focus on during this particular presentation. So just because your dealerships might be slower than normal or potentially closed, now's not the time to stop the conversation with your customers or prospects. Digital and online content consumption is at an all-time high, and customers are looking for updates on your business. Keep that conversation going by providing your loyal customers with updates. Explain what options you have to shop online or even purchase vehicles online. Offer different vehicle sanitization specials or service specials. The opportunities are endless, and now's the time to be creative. If you're confident that you can do this with your current system, then what are you waiting for? Go do that now. Now's the time to set that up. So I'm going to actually help make this very simple for you. We're going to give you one campaign at no cost just for attending this webinar. Let me show you how that's going to work. We've built several campaign strategies that can be used during this crisis, and I'm going to quickly take you through 3 of them. People are anxious. We've talked about that. They're anxious to go to the grocery store. They're anxious to go for a walk, and rightfully so. It's your responsibility to communicate your sanitization process, what your efforts are, what that looks like for bringing in your vehicle for service. As a dealership, you should be educating your customer and speak to the importance of sanitizing your vehicle. It's not enough to say that you're going to sanitize a vehicle. You need to actually tell them how you're going to do that. This campaign speaks to that and can easily be communicated to them. For those dealerships that remain open, and I certainly recognize that in various parts of North America, there are different rules that apply in terms of vehicle sales today. However, one universal message that applies to everybody is that you can communicate how you can purchase your vehicle 100% online. This campaign walks you through exactly what and how your customers would go about doing that in order to purchase a vehicle from you safely. Okay, so communications to your customers don't always have to be about offers and discounts. This is more about how we come together as a community during a very unique time. How about just communicating a fun-loving coloring competition? You know, they could easily just print out a PDF to color. And it's a family activity. So the kids could color this thing. Mom and dad could post using, hashtag dealer post or any hashtag really on Facebook and Instagram. The winning child potentially could receive, let's say, a $100 Amazon gift card, and the child's parents could receive a $100 voucher or gift card from the dealership, and they could use that on service or accessories or whatever. It's a fun community activity. And here's in this particular case, you actually make a customer and not necessarily a sale. And I think that's important during this time. And so why bumper? These are all things that those campaigns that I talked about are all things you could and should be doing with your current email marketing system. But let me take a few minutes to take you through what differentiates bumper and why it's unique. So firstly, Bumper is an automotive specific marketing platform which allows dealers to create and customize their own unique campaigns in-house. So we offer addressed mailers that contain URLs and QR codes for full tracking capabilities, ringless voicemail services where dealers can record their own personalized message, and email options which help to promote click-throughs and actions. But most importantly, what we offer are personal web pages, which can be used in conjunction with our campaign mediums for your own preferred email marketing platform. We'll dive into personal web pages a little more on the next slide. And also, I need to share this with you because coming soon in our spring release, we're adding text messaging marketing, bumper Facebook ads, both of which will continue to filter traffic through to personal web pages. In addition, we're going to be including optimized times, which lets you know what the best time is to deploy your communication to those individual prospects. The main purpose of emails, direct mails, and soon to be text and bumper ads is to draw traffic over to the personal web pages. You'll want to tease out your offer on these mediums, but hold your wild cards, guys, hold them until you get to the personal web page. This actually helps increase your click-throughs from 2% to upwards of 20 to 30% and determines which prospects and are potentially interested in your offer. So the personal web pages. Our personal web pages allow dealers to incorporate additional marketing components onto their message to help enhance their campaigns, including videos, including coupons, downloadable PDFs, external links, and click-to-call options. We have several customized themes specific to every OEM added into every account, which helps to give dealers a starting point for any message they'd like to communicate. We offer themes for every department and multiple events across the dealership. These themes can be customized into your own unique message, but help to give dealers a starting point for their campaign. The interesting part here is we also use behavioral tracking on our personal web pages to categorize your prospects and help to identify purchase intent. This powerful behavioral tracking allows you to have intelligent conversations with your prospects by understanding what components of your specific campaign are most important to them. Which is why we suggest that the more tabs you actually include on this personal web page, the better. You know, only 33% of customers who purchase a vehicle from a marketing campaign actually fill out a form. This means it's the other actual components, such as coupons and videos, that are so much more important when trying to communicate a deal to your customer. Something to keep in mind. So let's dive into a bit of an example. Take a scenario here where a dealership is running a lease maturity campaign. On the personal webpage, they include coupons for upgrading into a newer model, walk-around videos of the new 2020 model, and downloadable brochures. They also include here lease return checklist, service inspection offers, and an option to schedule a lease return date. One of the prospects is interacting highly with the new model information, and the other coupons that are on that personal web page. And the second prospect is only interested in the lease return information and the inspections. Both prospects are still highly engaged with your campaign since they are interacting with your content. However, both customers have very different intentions. Our system allows the dealer to see the different behavior patterns and shape their follow-up conversations accordingly, thus increasing the number of booked appointments, but also sales for all departments. And so the next logical step is, let's get back there, lead tracking. Thank you. So lead tracking. As mentioned, we categorize our opportunities based on the level of engagement with your campaign. So we have 3 main categories, which include engaged opportunities, warm, and hot. These categories allow a dealer to prioritize their time by connecting with the higher engaged opportunities first. Excuse me. When selecting a prospect within the opportunity screen, their full track path of actions are actually available to you, along with date and timestamps. Now, if you're anything like some of our customers, getting your sales team to properly use the CRM can be a bit of an uphill battle, which is why we can send all of this information directly into your CRM or lead management platform if you'd rather not use the bumper dashboard. We see the highest amount of booked appointments when leads are followed up within 15 minutes or less. Since we send your leads to your dealership in real time, this makes the campaign that much more successful. And so you have us. Also included with every bumper account, you are assigned a dedicated performance manager who will assist you as much or as little as you need. They will help you encourage to launch campaigns every month. They'll share successful tips, campaign ideas, and they'll request strategy sessions with you guys. We also help encourage you to launch campaigns every month by sharing successful tips, campaign ideas. We have launched thousands of marketing campaigns and have the stats to prove it. We collect hundreds of best practice tips and tricks to help you maximize your campaign results and get the most out of your bumper account. Working with a performance manager and adhering to our best practices have helped dealers move from a consistent 2% conversion ratio to upwards of 6% on a regular basis. Incredible stuff. And so, again, we're here to help. We're going to offer you today, again, to reiterate, 1 free bumper campaign from the suggested campaigns that I walked you through. And you can do that by calling or emailing the following that you see on your screen. Happy to take anyone through a demo or a test campaign or a strategy session. I look forward to that. Again, I thank the rest of my colleagues, and I thank you guys for attending this webinar. I'm going to actually pass it back to Sean to wrap things up for us. Sean, over to you.
This is Sean Kelley, the Car Biz Coach, Dustin Baumis from Covideo, Jason Harris from Digital Dealership Solutions, and Georgas from Bumper signing